and very quick initial greeting for everyone. Welcome.
All right, thank you, Dr. Yang. So my name is DeLauren West. I'm the MBA program advisor. I think I've had the pleasure of speaking to some of you already in advising sessions. Pretty much all of you should have received an email from me regarding your program plan and regarding some information about myself. And so we are going to go ahead and start the orientation now. This is for the fall 2024 start of the MBA program. So hopefully everyone's in the right location. Couple housekeeping things before we start. If you wouldn't mind muting your microphone, that way we won't get any feedback or have any talking in the background. And then when we take questions, you're free to go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions. Second thing, for all of our fully online students, if you wouldn't mind putting either OL or online after your name, we are going to be doing a breakout session later in the orientation where we're going to have the online students speak with Gloria and Margaret about the online program, and then the on-campus students will be meeting with Jessica and myself to discuss the online. So that helps us determine which breakout room to put you in. So again, if you're an online student, if you could put OL or online after your name, that helps us assign you to the online program breakout room. All right. And then again, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and put those in the chat for now. But we will have an open question session at the end of the orientation. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So this is our agenda for today's meeting. The welcome, which we just had. The MBA team, you're going to meet everyone that will be helping you on your journey as part of the MBA program. We're going to go over the program, some program information. We're going to talk about some policies and procedures for the program. We're going to talk about program engagement. And then we're going to have a breakout room where we're going to have the online students in a separate breakout room than the on-campus students, where we'll be talking about some specifics for each of those programs. And then we'll have a general Q&A where we'll give you a chance to answer any questions. All right. So this is the team. So you just met Dr. Yang. He is the program director. I am DeLauren West. I'm the program advisor, and then we'll pass it to Jessica.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our new student orientation for the MBA program. I believe I've had the pleasure of speaking to some of you as well regarding your admission, and hopefully we'll continue to work together. I'm the recruitment and engagement coordinator. So again, hopefully we can continue to work together as you start your program. Now I'll pass it on to Maggie.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the new student orientation for the MBA program. I'm your online admissions advisor. So any students that are joining us, and I do see on the chat for the online for executives, welcome. I am going to be the person that's going to be checking in with you periodically as you start your program, just making sure that you have all the tools and resources you need to make the start of your program successful. So we're excited to have you. And I'll turn it to Gloria.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Gloria, and I am the program specialist for the MBA Online for Executives at Cal State San Bernardino under the College of Extended and Global Education. Some of my responsibilities include providing support for registration, class drops, also managing tuition payments and facilitating payment plans.
All right, thank you, Gloria. And then last but not least, we have Dr. Pamela Abel. She is not able to make it with us today, but she basically handles the career services for the business college. So if you need assistance with your resume, if you need assistance with interview skills, or if you need advising in terms of what you want to do with your career, Dr. Abel is more than happy to help you with that. All right, so this is our contact information for the MBA office. We are open from 8 to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Email is our preferred communication. Jessica, her position takes her out of the office a lot, I do meet with students on a regular basis in advising sessions. So email is usually the best way to reach us. Our office is located in Jack Brown Hall, room 134. We're on the bottom floor. So if you have a chance, please come by, stop by and see us. We're also available by phone. This is our general line, the 909-537-5703. We also, in each of our emails in our signature, we have our personal lines. So please feel free to use either line to reach us. And then we have our general email, which is the mba@csusb.edu. Since you all are already admitted to the program, feel free to use our personal emails. I think you probably have received emails from all of us in the program. So please feel free to contact us directly. All right, so this is our website. Most of you probably have been here already, but we put a lot of information on the website. So if you have any questions, this would be the first resource we would suggest going to. We have tabs for the future students. We have tabs for the current students. We have information about engagement opportunities. We have a lot of the forms that you may need while you're going through the program. We have course listings of the courses, course descriptions that you can access as well as information about engagement opportunities. So please utilize the resource. It'll be a great help to you as you go through the program. The online MBA has its own website as well. So if you needed access to that and you needed the email address, please reach out to Gloria or myself. Maybe Gloria or Margaret can put your email in the chat so for the online students so that they can bookmark it. All right, so we utilize bookings for the MBA office. So if you need to make an appointment with me to discuss classes or anything about the program, you can just go to our website, click on the click here for virtual appointment, and it will bring up your options that you can schedule an appointment with me. It shows you all my availability, and then you can electronically schedule that way. You can also, in my signature, I have a link to my bookings page, my personal bookings page. So feel free to use that to access it as well. If you have any difficulty, please feel free to email me. I'd be happy to assist you with scheduling an appointment with me. All right, these are some of the useful campus apps. So if you haven't downloaded them, you may want to think about it because they can be useful on your journey in the MBA program. There's a MyCoyote Access. MyCoyote, for those of you who don't know, is the system that the campus uses basically for pretty much any type of student service that you would need. There's an app for the gym, what we call the recreation center here on campus. For our international students, there's a CISP app that allows you to get in contact with CISP regarding any questions you may have. There's a campus tour app, which has a map of the campus. There's also a Zoom app that you can download. Gmail, which the campus uses. It uses the Gmail. So we will be using your Gmail, your student email, to communicate with you. And we do recommend using your student email to communicate with us. Sometimes the university's filter system gets funny about personal emails and can sometimes filter those to our junk or our spam. So if you use your student email, those will always go through, and those which we'll always use to communicate with you as well. And then Canvas, there's an app for Canvas as well, where you can access your class information. For those of you who don't know, Canvas is the learning system that all your instructors will use to post their syllabus and their course content information each of the semesters. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the programs. So each of you should be in one of these programs. We have our traditional, which averages between 36 and 45 units, depending on your concentration, which is 12 to 15 courses. Again, how many courses you take depend on which concentration you choose. We have the executive program, which is 30 units, 12 courses. So 10 of those courses are 3 units. And then you do 2, what we call more like requirements than actual courses. and we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the program. And then the online program, which is our online executive, that's also 30 units. And again, that's 10 3-unit courses, plus what we consider the 2 requirements as well. All right, so this is your MBA program plan. So all of you should have received this from me. If you don't have one, please feel free to email me. I'll be happy to get you your customized program plan. This is what we call a program plan. We call it a roadmap. This is what we're going to use to guide you as you go through the program. So we'll go over a couple of the details now. Now, these are pretty much identical for all of our concentrations. The only change is when we get into the focus area. Now, for our online students, since you do not have a concentration, our executive students, you also do not have a concentration. You're, instead of having a focus area with concentration classes, you're just going to have one elective course that you're going to take as part of the program. But for our traditional students, you selected a concentration when you came into the program, and that's going to dictate what type of focus area courses you're going to take as part of the program. So at the top, we have our foundation courses. The majority of you will take both foundation courses in your first term. Some of you, due to the large number of students that we received in the traditional program, will be taking an essential course along with one foundation course. And then we'll have you take the additional foundation course in the spring term. Now, for the essential courses, these are not in any particular order. They're actually in alphabetical order, but you don't have to take them in any particular order. And as you can see on the program plan, it says select 7 courses from the following. So that means you get to choose to omit one course from that list of essential courses. So you can pick out the one that you're least interested in, that maybe is not applicable to what you do in your career or where you want to go, and we will omit that one from your program. For the online students, you've already sent me which program or which essential course you want to omit. So I have already omitted that one from your program and planned out all of your semesters and the years of the classes that you're going to take. So your program plans are already planned out. For the rest of our students, we plan it out on a term by term basis. So please, if you want to plan out your program plan, please reach out to me, schedule an appointment, and we'll go ahead and meet and go over your program plan. All right, so next we have our accumulating courses. You'll see that there are 3 listed there. The first one is the Admin 6980, that's the portfolio. So everyone in the program takes the portfolio. The next one is the Admin 6981, that is the MBA comprehensive exam. And then we have that underneath that, the Admin 6983, which is the MBA project course. So the comp exam is the default for the students to take as part of the program. Now, what I do is before it's time for you to register for classes, I will identify the students who are eligible to take their accumulating courses, and I will ask you, do you intend to take the comp exam or would you like to take the project course? If we get enough students opt into the project course, which we have to have a minimum of 10, then we will offer the project course as well as the comp exam for that term for the students who choose. Something to keep in mind about the project course is that the project course is 3 units where the comp exam is 0 units. So for our online students who pay a flat fee for each of the classes, if you take the project course, you're going to pay 3 units of tuition for that project course. Same for our on-campus students. If you take the project course, you are going to pay the 3 units for that, whereas the comp exam, if taken in conjunction with another 3-unit class, there is no additional cost for the comp exam or the portfolio, which are both 0 units. And so if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. I also go into this in detail when I meet with you on a one-on-one basis to talk about your program plans as well. And then underneath that is the focus area. So those that are in the online program or the executive program, you're not going to have a focus area. You'll just have one elective course that you get to choose. And so for your elective, you can choose any 5,000 or 6,000 level business class that has the subject categories in the parentheses to the right under requirements. For the students in the traditional, you will have a list of focus area courses that are required for your program. The majority of the concentrations will have a list of 3 classes. You only have to take 2 from that list of 3. And then at the very bottom, you have an elective requirement as well that you get to choose what course you want to take for that elective requirement. The only exception to that is our cybersecurity students. For cybersecurity, which is our largest concentration at 42 units, it does require you to take 5 specific cybersecurity courses. There is no elective option for cybersecurity. All right, so that is the program plan in a nutshell. And like I said, if you want to go over your individual program plan, please feel free to schedule an advising session with me. All right, so this is information about our boot camps. So our program does not have prerequisites for the program. So none of you had to complete specific courses to be admitted into the program. So in place of that, what we've created is the boot camps. So there are a total of 6 boot camp modules. These are available in Canvas. You get access to them as soon as you're admitted to the program. So all of you should have access to it now. And these are basically self-study classes to prepare you for the terminologies, for the concepts you're going to see in the essential courses. So we recommend completing these, completing the boot camp that corresponds with the essential course that you'll take next. So there are no boot camps for the 2 foundation courses. So the majority of you don't need to worry about that in your first term. However, you are welcome to work ahead and to finish them all or finish a couple. The absolute deadline to finish them is by the end of your program, but you'll get the most out of them if you do them prior to taking those essential courses. All right, so these are some of the forms that you may need as you go through the program. So I've highlighted some of the most used forms that some of the students have needed over the course of the program. So let's start with the one on the right, repeat or discount a grade. So master's students are required to maintain a 3.0 GPA. Now, sometimes things happen in life and you're not able to get that 3.0 GPA you receive, which is it's a B average. So we do realize that. So we give you a repeat of course or discounted grade, which means if you get a C- or below, then you're not able to apply that particular course to your program and you have to repeat the course. So by filling out a discounted grade, it allows the university to discount that first attempt at the class. So if you got a C-, a D, an F, it will discount that from affecting your cumulative GPA. So you get 1 discounted grade over the course of your program. So you want to make sure to save it as long as you can. That way, you only get 1. So you want to use it wisely. Some students don't need it over the course of their program, but some do. And so you just want to keep that in mind as you go through the program. Leave of absence. If you need to take a break from the program, that is completely okay and totally allowed. So if you need to take a break, we call it a leave of absence. You can file a leave of absence form and it will allow you to take up to 4 consecutive semesters off. Now, summer and winter are not required terms for by the university. So you would just take, you can take spring, fall, spring, and then fall, spring. So basically 2 academic years you can take off from the program. Or if you need to just take 1 semester off, you can do that as well. And the leave of absence will maintain your status as a student in the program while you're taking a break. And then you'll indicate when you want to return on there. And the campus will automatically re-enable you to register for the term you indicate on the form. Now, if something happens and you want to come back early and you've put like 2 years on the leave of absence, there's another form you can fill out that's an early return form and allows you to come back to the university. So if you have any questions about a leave of absence or if you need one, please let me know. I'm happy to help you file out the paperwork for that. And then the last form is the grad requirement check. So this is something that you will do as you prepare to graduate from the program. We will have you file a graduation check, which basically states to the university that you intend to graduate in a particular term. And then by filing that, the university will then, at the end of that term, confirm your degree and award you that degree and mail out your diploma. So I will, as you go through the program, and I'll monitor your progress. And when it's time for you to file the grad check, I'll provide you with that information on how to do that. Okay, so these are some of the program requirements to keep in mind as you go through the program. So the first is the university does require graduate students to be enrolled in the fall and spring semesters. So those are considered required semesters. So you either need to be enrolled in classes or you need to have a leave of absence on file for those 2 terms. If after census you're not registered for the fall and the spring, the university will automatically discontinue you from the program. Now, it's not the end of the world if you're discontinued. We just have to do a retroactive leave of absence to reestablish you in the program. But it's just easier to do it on the front end to either have you file leave of absence or go ahead and make sure you're registered for the fall and spring semesters. Second requirement is you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA, which is a B average, to remain in good standing or to receive your degree at the end of your program. So if you drop below that, then you will be placed on academic probation for the term until you're able to pull your GPA up to the 3.0. Now, academic probation doesn't go on your transcript. It's basically just a record that we keep as advisors to let us know that we need to provide you with a little bit more assistance. So if you feel like your GPA is below the 3.0, you're struggling with any type of issues, please reach out to us. We like to hear from you early and often, because the earlier you come to me with any issues, the more options I have. But as it gets later in your program or later in the semester, the less and less options I have to assist you with that. So please reach out to the MBA office, reach out to me, reach out to Jessica, reach out to Maggie, reach out to Gloria. If you're having any issues in the program, we're happy to assist you. That's what we're here for. All right, so the next thing is complete all courses with a grade of C or better. So you must receive a C or better in all your classes to be able to apply it to your program. If you get a C- or below, you will have to repeat that course in order to apply that necessary course to your program. So that's something to keep in mind. The one exception to that is the Admin 6020. That class requires a B or better because it is considered your writing requirement for graduate candidacy, which means it's what the CSU system uses to determine that you're able to write at a graduate level. So that requires a B or better. If you get a B- or below, you're going to have to retake that particular class. And then last but not least, complete the boot camps. So you'll just want to make sure to complete those by the end of the term. By the end of your program. Summer or winter is a great time to finish it. We don't offer any classes during the winter because the winter intersession for the university is only 3 weeks, but we do offer some classes over the summer. But summer's a great time to catch up and get those boot camps done. All right, so these are some of the services that are available to you. We have a service to students with disabilities at the university. So if you have a disability, you need a little additional assistance in your classes, or you need access to some of the services that they offer, please reach out. We call them SSD for short. They can register you. They can assist you with contacting your professor to let them know you need some specific services in your class. The Recreation and Wellness Center, that is on campus. Your fees pay for that, so you're able to utilize that on campus. The Counseling and Psychological Services Center, as well as the Student Health Center, those are on campus and available to you. There's also a Veteran Success Center for our veterans that are in the program. Highly encourage you to use the Veteran Success Center. They have their own a set of counselors that can assist you with figuring out the services that are available to veterans at the university. RAFMA is the museum that's at the university that you can visit. They have different exhibits over the course of the year that you can visit while you're on campus. The Career Center provides career services to the students on campus, so please feel free to utilize that as well. We have sporting events that you can attend at the Casullus Arena, or there's a couple other teams, soccer team, volleyball team. A couple of the teams are really good, so we'd encourage you to participate in those as well. Your student ID, for a lot of students, the sporting events are free, so your ID can get you into those. And then there's a basic needs and student support center as well. So this center deals with students who have food insecurities or other basic needs that you may have. Please utilize this service. It's a great service. It's on campus. They also have a PDC location as well. So please utilize those services as well. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Jessica.
Thank you, DeLauren. Yes, so now that you've joined our program, hopefully you enjoy and learn a lot from our classes, but we also want you to take advantage of all the resources and opportunities you'll have outside of the classroom to become engaged in the program, or to network more with your classmates. Of course, we'll have events such as, today the orientation is intended to set you up for success. You have DeLauren, who's going to be a great resource to you throughout the program. That's one of the great benefits that the MBA program has, because most graduate degrees do not have a dedicated academic advisor. So I want you to know that and value the great resource that you'll have to be able to, go to him directly to talk about the classes you'll need and help you with your program plan. Now, like I mentioned, there's other opportunities for you to become engaged in the program and get to meet others in the program. For example, we have the Passport program, and this is a optional opportunity, so it's nothing that you'll have to complete in order to graduate, but just to help you get the most out of the program. And what the Passport program is, it's going to be a guide for you for the academic year, to encourage for you to become more involved in different events and activities that we'll have throughout the academic year. So each year we'll send you information on the Passport program. And like I mentioned, what it is we'll host either at the college or sometimes virtual events or activities that you'll get invited to. And for each event that you attend, you earn a stamp, kind of like a passport. Now, students who earn at least 5 stamps from pre-approved activities or events will earn a leadership award, which is the Passport program. And we'll review that at the end of the academic year once fall 2020, I'm sorry, the 2024-2025 school year. And that's when we'll review. And again, if you attend a minimum of 5 pre-approved events, you'll collect those 5 stamps to get the Leadership MBA award. And if time permits, I'll go into a little bit more detail on what type of events those are. But even online students can participate, and it doesn't have to be on campus events. As long as it's pre-approved, it can be events outside our campus, such as lectures, networking opportunities, work trainings. It just depends, again, as if you want to become involved. There's different ways to get the most out of that. We also have Coyote Network, which is kind of like our version of LinkedIn. The only difference is going to be that it's internal platform that we use to connect Coyotes who are currently in school or alumni who want to stay connected to the university. So again, it's kind of like a platform where you can engage with others other students who've attended or are currently attending. And then, of course, we have the Student Ambassadors Program. DeLauren, do you mind going on to the next slide? Yes, so the Student Ambassadors Program is another opportunity for you to become engaged. We'll send invitations to this after your first semester. That's when you'll be able to apply for this MBA Student Ambassador. And what it is we select just a handful of student leaders to represent the MBA program. So you're going to be a highly visible student that will work with the MBA office and attend events with us or different, for example, our new student orientations. And the goal is for you to have the opportunity to talk to prospective students who might be interested in joining the program, and for you to talk about your experience in the program and give them an insight of what it is to be an MBA student. So of course, we're gonna want you to be a good resource for not just prospectives, but also your internal students who are also in the MBA program, even if they're not selected as an MBA ambassador. Hopefully you can help create that a good resource for all of the students. This will help you also create more network opportunities because you'll be able to interact with students, graduate students outside of the MBA program, not just MBA. So you'll be able to network that way. And in return, for being an MBA ambassador, you actually get professional development funds so that you can attend your own, for example, conferences or whatever that is. There's pre-approved professional development funds for you to take advantage and again, help you grow as well. So again, that program will be available after your first semester once you've already settled into the program and know what the program entails and talk to other students about it. So yeah, that's the Student Ambassadors. If you're interested in either the Student Ambassadors program or the Passport program, which again, they're both optional, but are ways for you to become engaged, feel free to talk to me directly. I'll be the coordinator for those programs. And then again, we'll have our contact information at the end in case you wanted to schedule a one-on-one appointment and talk about any of those items. Thank you, DeLauren.
All right, thank you, Jessica. Okay, so now we're going to do the breakout session. So for our online students, if you haven't already, please go ahead and indicate next to your name that you are an online student, and you are going to meet with Gloria and Maggie to talk about things specific to the online program, and the rest of the students will stay with Jessica and I, and we'll discuss more about concentrations and more information about the on-campus program.
So you should see a pop-up for those that are online. It should give you the option to join the online MBA room. So you can go ahead and do that now. If you're not an online MBA student, then you'll stay in the current room, okay? We'll give students a couple minutes to go ahead and join. Veronica says she doesn't see a pop-up. Does everyone else see it? Okay, so maybe if you're on your phone, is that?
I'm on my phone, Jessica, and it says breakout session, but when I click on it, it doesn't take me to the breakout session.
Let me see if I can go ahead and take you, okay?
Yeah, I don't see it either. Can you take me to, please?
Absolutely. Who was that? I'm sorry.
Igor.
Igor? Okay. Let me see if I can take you to.
Oh, and then Arseni, if you don't mind, I don't see it either side.
Veronica, do you need to go as well?
Yes, please. I have no idea where to go.
Alrighty.
Deanna Woolley too, please.
Okay. Hopefully,
Oh, now I see it.
you see it. Okay.
Roman Weplo as well.
Can you repeat your name?
Roman Weplo. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
Jessica, I'm so sorry.
It's not letting you?
When I select the breakout session,
Mhm.
you know how you're supposed to see like accept or something like that to the, let's see, hold on if it,
Let me
oh,
see if
it's,
I can.
I think it,
Oh, she's gone. So it must have worked. All
All
right,
right.
anyone else an online student? Think we're good
No,
to
we're
go.
good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we are going to discuss concentrations. The online students do not have concentrations. So if any of you need to go to the online room, please let us know. So these are all the concentrations for the traditional students. So all of you should have picked a concentration when you came into the program. Um, a couple questions I get from students regarding concentrations. One is, can I change my concentration? Yes, you can. It is an easy process. If you would like to change your concentration, what you can do is you can just send me an email letting me know you'd like to change. There's a form you fill out. There's a $6 fee that you'll pay online. And then we will go ahead and we will update your program plan to reflect the new concentration. Second question I get is, can I do 2 concentrations? Yes, you can. You can add a concentration to your existing program. If you like the concentration you're currently in, then we would just add on the new concentration to your existing program plan. It is the same process as changing your concentration. There's a form you fill out. There's a $6 fee that you'll pay, and then we will add that new concentration to your program plan. Occasionally, a student wants to do 3. The university does allow you to do up to 3 concentrations. So the process would be the same for that as well. And then the last question I get is, when should I change my concentration? I recommend, if you know now that you want to change your concentration, to do it now. The reason for that is, when we meet in future advising sessions, it's better to use the correct program plan. That way I can guide you into the right classes that will be applicable to that concentration that you want in the end as your program. And a thing to be mindful of as well is that not all the classes will transfer to every concentration. For example, the cybersecurity has 5 specific classes. So if you decide to change, say when your program is almost over and you've almost completed all your focus area, none of those focus area classes will transfer to the other concentration. So it's better to make the determination before you start taking those focus area courses, and they're not able to transfer to your new concentration. It's better to make the decision to change then. That way we can change you over. Now, the absolute deadline to change is obviously your last term. At that point, your grad check is already filed. We've advanced you to candidacy. So we've already done everything to prepare you for graduation. And at that point, it's too late to change you over. So I would say, if you're going to change, make it as early as possible. That way I can give you the best guidance when we meet and put you into the right classes for that particular concentration. All right. Any questions about concentration? We can open up to questions because we have some time before the online students come back.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is Kiki
Hi,
Porter. Thank you for having this orientation for us. I wanted to find out, you said that if you have you take the concentration and say you only have 1 more left, but you want to change, it's not a great idea to do at that point. But can you still add a new concentration at that point?
Yes, you can. So you can even add a new concentration in your last term. I do have students that do that. They go through the program. They're pretty much they're accumulating courses. So they're at the end of their program and they decide they want to add on another concentration. So you absolutely can. I just tell students to plan, any concentration you add on is going to add an additional 3 classes, because every concentration, even if there's some carryover between the concentrations, has to have 3 unique classes in order for the university to award you that concentration. So plan on every concentration you add is probably going to add a semester or 2, depending on which one you choose.
Great, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Looks like Jay, we have a question.
Yes, I did have a question. So I know that you're talking about if we do choose the option for the accumulating project, let's say for 10, I'm gonna be doing a dual concentration for human resource management and management. So would I have to do that twice, or do I have to take the test since I'm doing a double management or a dual concentration, or how does that work for the
Yeah,
project?
so you only have to do one accumulating course. So you would do the portfolio, and then you would either do the comp exam or you would do the project course. You only have to do one, even though you're doing multiple concentrations.
Okay, got you. And the second question regarding that, so for the project, it would just be more like a extra class, just doing like a group project, or what is exactly does that consist of?
Yeah, so how the class is set up will vary depending on the professor, but generally what will happen is the professor usually would put you into a group based on your speciality, and then they would have you do either kind of like a SWOT analysis of either a fictitious business, or they may assign you to a real business, and then you would do a written project for that, as well as most of the professors have you do an oral presentation for that as well. So it would be a 3-unit actual project course. The comp exam, in contrast to that, is we would put you in the comp exam class. There are no course meetings. There's no work. Basically, you're just preparing for the comp exam. We do post the comp exam questions at the beginning of the academic year. So we post the exact questions that are on the comp exam, and you're able to study from those beginning. We usually post them in August for the next academic year.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Lauren, do you mind if I share the page for the comp exam? I don't know if it's updated or.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it is updated through fall.
Okay, perfect. So I'm putting it in the chat for those of you that are eager to get to the comp exam.
Now keep this in mind, those of you that are eager. So the information there will stay the same. However, the questions are subject to change every academic year. So if you want to get a sense of the type of questions that are being asked, please feel free to review the questions. But the questions are subject to change because most of you will be in the program for 2.5, 3 years. So the questions will be different at that time. But if you want to get a sense for the style of the questions that are being asked, please feel free to review those. We also created an informational video as well that you can watch to give you more information about the comp exam. Yes, Tony.
Hey, DeLorean. Hey, Jessica. Good to see you again. I have a question about interdisciplinary studies across college campuses. Are JHB students allowed to do that? To enroll in another program concurrently?
So the way our interdisciplinary, are you referring to the concentration or doing another master's program at the university?
Another master's program.
Another master's, yes. So the way the university handles that is each program decides whether or not they will allow their students to be simultaneously enrolled with another master's program. We at the MBA office, we allow you to do that, even if you wanted to pick another master's program within JHBC. So MSIST, MPA, or MSEI, we do allow you to take another master's program in JHBC or outside. The only thing we ask is that you make successful academic progress towards completing your MBA in every term. So in other words, we don't want you to just kind of like do all the other classes and not take any MBA classes for a couple terms and then come back. We want to see you make progress in both programs each term.
Okay, great. And I have a second question about interdisciplinary concentration. So if we wanted to do a dual concentration in one of the concentrations and interdisciplinary, is that pretty much like a la carte for the interdisciplinary? Like we just choose 3 from any 3 classes from any of these concentrations?
Yes, exactly. So interdisciplinary was created to allow students to pick their own focus area courses. So everything else on the program plan is exactly like all of our other concentrations, but instead of having pre-assigned focus area concentration courses, you will get to pick 3 classes from any of the subject categories that we offer in the business college.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions about concentrations in the MBA program? No? Okay, we'll move to the next slide. So now we're gonna give you a little summary of the academic departments and the department chairs. You may on occasion need to reach out to the department. You may on occasion need to reach out to the department chair. So we want you to be familiar with these professors. Some of the professors actually teach in the program as well. So we want you to be familiar with them. So this is Dr. Mike Stull. He's the director of the School of Entrepreneurship. So he manages basically it's the School of Entrepreneurship is a school within the business college. So Dr. Stull is the director of that program. He oversees anything at the business college that has to do with entrepreneurship. They do have their own master's program, which is the MSCI program. We do have, I think, 3 or 4 students that actually are simultaneously enrolled in both programs, MSCI and MBA. There are some courses that you can carry over to both programs. So if you were interested in that, please let me know. This is Dr. Conrad Shio. He's the department chair of cybersecurity as well as global supply chain management. This is Stella Q. She is the chair for the management department. She also teaches on occasion some of the management classes, the Management 6850. This is Dr. Hagen Brown. He is the marketing department chair, and he will also teach the marketing, on occasion, the upper level marketing classes as well. This is Dr. Joseph Tormey. He is the hospitality management coordinator. Now, just to let you know, I don't know if we have anyone who's here from the hospitality management. It is one of our smaller concentrations, but the hospitality program is run out of the Palm Desert campus. So anyone who selected the hospitality management, your classes are usually your focus area courses are usually held at the Palm Desert campus, but they do have a virtual option for you, so you're able to tune into those classes via Zoom. And then this is Dr. Taiwan Yang. He is the accounting and finance department chair, as well as he's the director of the MBA program. All right, so we will wait for the online program class the online students to come back in. Do any other questions about the program? We'll open it up to any questions you may have.
I do have one question. It's not about the program, it's about actually this presentation. It says you guys are recording it. Do we get a copy of it just in case we missed anything, or?
Yes, if you would, so we do record it for you. So if you would like a copy of the recording, please just email me and I'd be happy to send it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I had another question. Who was the director for the human resource, or it just kind of goes with management?
Yeah, so human resources is still under the management department.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yes, Thomas.
Good evening to you all. I was wondering, what is if we wanted to add a concentration, what would be the form called? Is there like a form?
Yeah, so you can just send me an email, Thomas, and just let me know you'd like to add a second concentration, and I'll send the form over to you. We just call it a concentration change form, but you can just let me know you're interested in changing, and I'll send you the information to make that change or to add a concentration. We use the same form to add a concentration as we do to change a concentration.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, Cynthia.
Hi, I have a quick question. Did I see somewhere that we have to do an internship or did I misread something?
So an internship is not required as part of your program.
Okay.
However, you can use an internship course as your elective requirement, as long as you're not in cybersecurity, because cybersecurity doesn't have an elective requirement. But for any of our other concentrations, we do have an internship coordinator. Her name is Jessica Chavez. And what she will do is she will work with you to get college credit for your internship. She'll enroll you in either a 5,000 or 6,000 level internship class, and we will count that internship as your elective requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So if any of you are interested in that, please reach out to me. Jessica also maintains a website where she has all the links for companies that have reached out that are looking for interns. So I'll be happy to provide that to you. And then you can work with Jessica to get college credit for that internship that you're participating in.
Since we have time, something that I didn't mention before, but maybe DeLauren can help me elaborate, is that we also have, for your elective, some students also opt for the study abroad option. DeLauren, do you happen to have any information on how the study abroad works? I know that some students go that route as well.
Yes. So in the business college, we have what's called the Center for Global Management. And so they will offer a study abroad program that is business based. And so you can, if you participate in that program, you can use that course that they will enroll you in as your elective requirement as well. Typically, they'll plan their trips for when students are on break. So they'll either do it over spring break or they'll do it over the summer. They typically plan about 2 to 3 trips a year. And they have a website as well. So we can, I'll put that in the chat if you're interested in that. Usually they'll put out information to all the students once the trips are set. That way you can make the decision if you want to participate. There is additional cost associated with that, but they often have some type of scholarship or help to help you like finance the study abroad trip. Again, it doesn't apply to the cybersecurity because they don't have a elective, so you can't get credit for it, but you can if you still want to participate in the study abroad trip.
Great. It looks like Paul might be interested, so we'll put some information in the chat. Any other questions while we wait for the online students?
I have one more question. Now that I'll start. So with the comprehensive exam, what happens if we like fail it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so we so you get two attempts to pass the comp exam. And if you fail it on your second attempt, then you can petition the MBA office to take it a third and final time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be good, but I just wanted to know just in case.
Yeah. Luckily, right now we're at a 98% pass rate. For the comp exam. Yeah. Yeah. And since the questions are provided ahead of time, there's really no reason why any student should not pass it on their first attempt. But we haven't had any student fail on their second attempt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Yes, Cynthia.
I have a question regarding the coursework. Full-time is considered 2 courses per semester?
So the campus makes a distinction between full-time status and also the financial aid office has a different definition of full-time.
Okay.
So the university considers 2 classes for 6 units full-time for a graduate student. However, if you're on financial aid, to get the full amount of aid that you're available to get, that is 3 classes for 9 units, because that puts you into full-time tuition rate. So for those of you who haven't seen the breakdown, the university breaks down tuition 0 to 6 units is in one price range, and then 0-1, so basically 3 units, or basically 3 classes for 9 units is the second category. So for some students to get the full aid that's available to them, they have to take the 3 classes for the 9 units. Yes. Paul.
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, do you have to take the comprehensive examination this year, or can you just take it next year? When is the final day to do that?
Yeah, so we will schedule you for the comp exam as part of your program. So in order to be eligible for the comp exam, you have to have completed all of your essential courses, or you can be simultaneously enrolled with your last essential course with the comp exam. And the reason for that is because there is a question from each of the essential courses as part of the comp exam. So generally, most students will take it in either their second to last semester or their very last semester. And I work with students to figure out, when's the best time for you to take it. Some students like to wait till the end when they can focus on just the comp exam. Others like to take it maybe their second to last term. If they have like some focus area courses left, then they like to get it out of the way once all those essential courses are fresh in their mind.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Joseph next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect. Hello, everyone. I just had a couple of questions. The first one being, I was just able to get the stuff submitted for my my loans. What is the best way to go about finding out when the remainder will be refunded to us, or the process on how that's handled?
Okay, I would suggest reaching out to the financial aid office, Joseph. They're going to have the best and most current information. Unfortunately, they don't give us access at the MBA office to your financial data because there's a lot of sensitive information in there. So I would reach out to the financial aid office, and they can give you the most up-to-date and accurate information.
Okay, awesome. And then my second question is, maybe I missed it, but when do like syllabuses go out, or when do we get access to our courses in Canvas so we can see that information?
Yes. So some professors will post early. So some post like 2 weeks before the start of the semester. Some will post a week. But the majority will end up posting the first day of the semester. What you can always do though, is you can always reach out to the professors. Their contact information is in the campus directory. So you can just put in the professor's name that you're taking the class from. It'll pull back their contact information, and you can reach out to them if you have any questions, or if you want to determine when exactly they will post their content to Canvas for the course. You can always reach out to them ahead of time, and they can provide you with that information.
And
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I know a lot of students have these first 2 courses that you enroll us in automatically. What is your guys' opinion on parking permits? Is that something that we absolutely need to get? Because I know that our Admin 6010 is sort of like a hybrid class, and the other one is fully online. So what is your guys' opinions on parking permits, and should we get one, or what would you guys say?
I would so on that I would do the math. I think the daily rate, correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, I think it's up to like $6 or more a day. So I would do the math. If you had to come to campus, how many times your course is going to meet on campus, and then I'd factor in maybe another day or so just for something that you may need to come on campus for, a group project, maybe a career fair, or something that you want to participate in that would take you off of your normal 1 day a week type schedule, and then find out what the semester rate is as well, and then kind of make a decision which of those works best for you.
Yeah. But parking is strongly enforced, and if you don't have a permit, just so you know, I've gotten tickets. They will issue tickets, and I don't know if you have any more questions, but I just wanted to add really quickly that I did bring in the online students. They're back with us in the main room. For those online students, of course, if you don't need to come to campus, you don't have to purchase the parking. I just wanted to kind of clarify that.
Okay, no, I have no other questions. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Joseph. Okay, so what I think we'll do now is we'll finish the last two slides, and then we'll go ahead and we'll open it up for questions for anyone. So Gabriel, hold on to that question. We'll get to you in just a sec. So we'll just close out. All right, so we are active on social media. Jessica, did you want to do this this one side?
So now that you're a student with us, we really encourage for you to connect with us if you're on any of these platforms. If you're on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, we have a YouTube channel where sometimes we'll post some of the events that we host for our students. Sometimes we'll post important information on all platforms regarding, again, events coming up, resources. So again, if you're on these platforms, we hope you join us and start following us or friending us. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, thanks, Jessica. Okay, so now we are entering the question portion. If you are, if you're not interested in the question portion, you are free to go. We are recording this, so if you do have to go to another engagement or whatnot, and you want to hear the question portion, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to provide you with the recording of any questions that were answered. But other than that, you're not required to stay for the question portion of the orientation. And if you have to go, we thank you for attending. We're excited you're in the program, and please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. All right, so for the questions, we'll start off with Gabriel. Did you have a question, Gabriel? We're not able to hear you.
Looks like you're muted, Gabriel. I don't know.
Hear me? Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I just had to switch. I was using my headphones to listen. You said there's a compensation exam, right? Can you do it hypothetically right now in this semester? Or are there some requirements you have to do before you start it?
Yes, so there are requirements. So to be eligible to take the comp exam, you have to have completed all of your essential courses, or you can be enrolled simultaneously with your last essential course to be able to take the comp exam.
Okay, so you have to like save the last minute. Ideally not, but you have to sometimes.
Yeah, so with some students, they end up taking a lot of essential courses, let's say over the summer. So they take a lot of their essential courses, but they still have some of their focus area courses to take. But they want to take the comp exam a little bit earlier before the end of their program because all the essential course information is fresh in their mind. So that is fine. So what we would do is once you've either completed all the essential courses or you're enrolled simultaneously with the last essential course, we'll put you in the comp exam so you can get that over with. And then you'll come back to complete your remaining focus area courses in the program.
What does a comp exam do for the rest of the semester? Is it necessary to graduate? Is it necessary to get a diploma, or just an extra thing for extraness?
Yeah, so the CSU system requires all graduate programs to have what they call accumulating experience. So that can either be a thesis, a comp exam, or it can be a project. So in order to meet that requirement, the MBA program has a comp exam, and then we also offer a project course. However, with the project course, we have to have a minimum of 10 students to offer the project course. So our default is the comp exam. And then if at least 10 students opt in to take the project course in the term you're scheduled to take your accumulating experience course, then you would have the project course option.
What is that thesis option you just mentioned?
So some of the programs offer a thesis. We do not offer a thesis for the MBA program. We offer just either the comp exam or the project course.
Okay, so that's irrelevant here. Okay.
Yeah, we don't offer a thesis.
Okay. And earlier, last question, you were talking about the passport, how you can do various events, you get 5 stamps, and you get a award. What does that award do? What does it offer?
I can speak to that. It's just a recognition, something to add to your portfolio and kind of as a medal for being involved in the program. So again, it's not a requirement for you to complete to graduate. It's more for you to get the most out of the MBA experience. All of the programs, all of the activities or events that you complete as part of the program are intended to be, of course, a learning opportunity. I'm going to put in the chat a little bit more about the program in case you wanted to consider some of the events, even if you don't attend all of them.
Does it look good on job resumes, that award? Do employers see that and go nice at that?
It could. You could describe it as you took part of the leadership award. I think at the end of the day, of course, your degree is going to speak a lot louder, but when you pair it with other recognitions in the program, sometimes same as if you are doing, if you do a good job in the program and you get a GPA recognition, kind of like that, it's kind of something to add on to your degree.
It can't really change grades for the better, right? You can't improve your GPA, it doesn't affect those, no. Improvement.
It's completely outside of the classroom. So this is more for your personal and professional benefit. So it's not going to read it on your diploma. It's more of a physical award. So it's not going to be attached to your diploma or your grades.
Not even towards graduation, you don't get the little scarf, nothing?
It's
a tassel.
Go ahead.
A tassel, that's what I mean. When you graduate, you get the little ropes around your neck. Those sort of things? No, not one of those?
It's a medal that
Okay,
you can wear. Yeah.
Okay. So it's more just a thing if you have extra time to kill, you can do that. You want something to do so you don't get bored on your mind in campus.
Well, more to get to for you to be engaged in the program. I put it in the chat for you so you can see some of the events. For example, our career fair can count as one, our resource fair. So it's not just to keep you from getting bored. It's for you to get something out of the programs we're hoping for.
I mean, not getting bored is a good thing. You have to socialize, be around people. You'd be stuck in the room by yourself. You're gonna go crazy in solitary confinement. So getting around, that's a good incentive for people to walk around, talk, and socialize.
Right. Network. Yeah, network. Absolutely.
Not even just networking, just interacting with others. It's good for the mind. Staying by yourself in a locked up room, you're bound to go crazy, scratching the walls and stuff. Well, it's a nice option for those.
Absolutely. And
Thank
that's
you.
something that, of course, and that's something that's renewed every year because we change our events every year. But for this year, we have the events posted now.
All right, so we'll go to Paul next.
Hi, I know you talked about the Canvas and when it's gonna be open. It's my first semester here and I'm enrolled in the 60-10, 60-20, and I still have no access. I looked on the courses and it said it's yes and no accessibility. Are those courses gonna be open on day one on Monday? Is that what I should expect?
Yes. So some instructors will open the first day of the term, which is going to be Monday, August 26th. Some have set them to open earlier, so they can set it to open on Friday. It can open on Saturday, it can open on Sunday. So I would say just check back and see if they scheduled it to open. And then if you do have a question about it, you can always reach out to the professor and ask, when will this content become available on Canvas?
Okay, because I know I paid the tuition and I just don't have any access. So I'll probably check maybe on Friday or this weekend and or Monday to see if I'm in, and I'll just shoot them an email. And then my second question is with the comprehensive exam, MBA doesn't have a thesis, but can I inquire about it or try to attempt or do something like that?
So we have had that question in the past. So we have had students who want to go on to their PhD, and some of the PhD programs do require a student to complete a thesis as part of their master's program. So if you wanted to do the thesis option, the difficulty about a thesis is you have to have a faculty committee to oversee your thesis. And so because the MBA program does not require a thesis, the faculty who would sign on to your program would have to do so pro bono, because the MBA program does not require it and it would not pay the faculty for participating in it. So if you do find faculty that are willing to take you on for a thesis, provide and be part of your thesis committee, that is something that could be discussed with Dr. Yang, the director of the MBA program, and also with grad studies as well, to see if you could participate in a thesis writing process.
Okay, yes, because so you're saying it would be like kind of unorthodox and kind of interesting for an MBA student to sort of talk with a science field for a thesis, but it's not a far-fetched idea, but it would be interesting and unorthodox, right?
It would be, I think the difficult part would be because your faculty, what we call the faculty readers for your thesis, they would be business faculty. The majority of them at the university in the JHBC college have their doctorates, so they're familiar with the requirements of a doctorate program. The unorthodox would be getting them to be your readers and no compensation being provided to them. Not saying that they wouldn't do it, but you would basically you would be on your own in terms of collecting them to be able to do that for you.
Okay, what would be the first step for creating the thesis? Who would I go to or talk to about, how the approach to that?
I would start with setting a meeting with Dr. Yang.
Okay.
To let him know you were interested in doing the thesis route. And then he can kind of guide you into, depending on if you had something in mind already, what faculty maybe have a specialty in the area you're thinking about. And then maybe he could help facilitate a conversation between you and that faculty to see if they would take you on and be part of your faculty committee.
Okay, because yeah, I'm interested in pursuing PhD because I want to be a professor one day, and I think I would probably do like maybe the comprehensive exam and maybe the thesis on the side. Is that something that's doable, or would there be another approach to that?
Yeah, I've never had a student do a dual, so I'm not gonna say it's like impossible. And we'll support you as much as we can. So I would start with Dr. Yang, and Dr. Yang will probably work with the Dean of Graduate Studies to find out how that would take place, because there's a lot of a thesis is done very differently than anything that we do in the MBA currently with the project or the comp exam, where grad studies is involved. And they have a very particular process about how the student's thesis is submitted, the deadlines when it's submitted, the support that the faculty has to give that student. So I would start the conversation with Dr. Yang and then go from there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. West, for your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, let's go to Brianna.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I know you mentioned the little boot camp courses. Do those typically, would you recommend those typically happen like in between semesters? Because I know you said that it's better to do them before the class that you need to take, but is it at the end of the previous semester, or do you try to do it simultaneously, like at the beginning of the new one?
I would say, so there's nothing preventing you from working ahead because you have access to all of them. So if you wanted to say start now, working on some of them, please feel free to do so. We encourage students to do that. But I would say so our next break coming up is going to be winter break. Students get almost a month off for the winter. And by the time you get on break for winter, which is mid-December, you will have already registered for your spring classes. So over the winter, you'll know which essential courses you're going to take in the next term for spring. So you can do those boot camps that correspond with those essential courses that you've already registered for.
Oh, okay, perfect. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, Tony.
Yeah, is the world famous Ernie Silvers still at JHBC?
So Ernie is retiring.
Yeah.
His official last day is going to be August 30th.
Oh,
But
man,
he
okay.
is burning his vacation time. So he's actually been out of the office since early July, enjoying his early retirement.
Gotcha.
But
Okay, he got a head start.
he got
Okay.
a head start. But Ernie is still very active on LinkedIn. So if you want to reach out to him, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear from you.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions before we close?
I do have one small question.
Yes.
So does every class offer online for someone who wants to take online classes, or will you run into a class that would only be in person?
All right. Roman, was it Roman that asked the question?
Yeah,
Okay. Roman, are you in the fully online program or are you in the on-campus program?
I'm currently in traditional, but I was thinking about switching to online.
Okay. So just a little bit about class structure. So for our traditional students or our students who are in the on-campus executive, your classes will be offered in 3 formats over the course of your program. So we have what we call classroom or in-person. That requires you to come to campus twice a week. So typically a class will be either Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. Every once in a while, we will offer a Saturday class, but it's pretty rare. So you can pretty much count on it being Monday or Wednesday, Tuesday or Thursday. Our class blocks, all of our classes start at 5:30 or later. And our latest class block starts at 8:30 to 9:45. So all of your classes that are in person will fall within that time frame within those 2-day blocks. The second format you'll see is hybrid. Now, the majority of our classes are going to be in a hybrid format. It seems the most popular with the faculty. And so that means you'll be coming to campus 1 day per week. So either Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday or Thursday. And then the second meeting day will be virtual. Now for the virtual, the instructor can do what we call asynchronous, which means you don't have to be present. They will either do a live lecture and record it, and you can watch it at your leisure, or they will do synchronous, which means you have to be present for that particular time and day to participate in that Zoom live lecture. Then the third type is what we call an online class, and that is asynchronous. So the instructor will post, usually it's recorded lectures, they'll post the assignments in the syllabus, and then you're kind of doing it, not really a self-study, but there's no assigned days or times that the class is going to meet. So over the course of your program, you're likely to take classes in all 3 of those formats, with hybrid being the dominant for that. Now for the Now for the fully online students, all their classes are online. So they're all in an online format. They are all asynchronous. So they don't have any specific meeting days or times for their classes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Jessica.
Hi, following up on that, one of my classes currently shows that it's going to be in person, I believe, on Tuesdays and then online on Thursdays. but my second class just says online. Does that mean that we won't know if it's asynchronous or synchronous until the syllabus gets released, or?
Yes, Jessica, you're in the traditional or on-campus
Yes,
program?
sorry, traditional on campus.
Okay, yes. So when you see a class that's just online, it will not list a day or time that the classes will meet. So the instructor may offer an in-person, not an in-person, but an online Zoom, like live Zoom lecture, but they will record it and then put it up for you to watch at your own leisure. So it's not required, but they may have students who want to participate in live lectures. And so they'll offer that as an option. But for an online class, it is not required that you attend at a certain day or time.
But I guess my question is, like, when would we know their structure?
So they'll post it in the syllabus
Okay.
to let you know. But for a fully online class, it's not going to have any required day or time that the class is going to meet.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, looks like there's no other questions. So please, if you have any additional questions, if something comes up, please feel free to schedule an advising appointment with me. Please feel free to email any of the staff. If you have any questions or concerns, please let us know. We always enjoy hearing feedback from our students. Anything else to add, staff?
Thank you all for attending, and again, welcome.
All right. Well, we hope everybody has a great fall. School, the fall semester starts this coming Monday, August 26th. So everybody, thank you for being here at the orientation, and have yourself a great night.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.